Without a doubt, my favorite way to shoot with the Insta360 X5 is to create hyperlapses. Now, this is what that looks like. You've probably seen them before on Instagram, TikTok, etc. They are a really, really popular way to use Insta360 cameras. And the reason is because it's actually not that hard to make these amazing kinds of videos. In fact, I saw one the other day, this one on Instagram. This is a really impressive looking video and it was shot with an Insta360 X5. I can tell because I can see it in the shadows, but this looks professional and I guarantee you it was not that difficult to make. And I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do to achieve these kinds of effects, the different types of hyperlapses you can create with the X5, and even how to use some of the automatic features in the app and desktop software to create them quickly and easily. Now, I'm saying the word hyperlapse a lot because this is the kind of style, it's just a general term, but in the X5, it's actually called time shift. So when you turn your camera on, you swipe through the menu, you'll see a option called time shift. And this is what Insta360 calls this kind of video. Not sure why they use that word, but it just is exactly the same thing. Now, for setting up your camera, I actually recommend you don't use this mode. What I recommend you do is go to the normal 360 video mode, set it to whatever resolution, probably either 8K or 5.7K in 60 frames per second, and then just shoot with that. You're going to be shooting very, very long videos, probably at least 5 minutes long, and then you're going to apply the hyperlapse or time shift effect after in post-production. What the time shift mode does in the camera is apply the speed effect for you. You can see that in the options in time shift, the speed options. This will determine how fast that hyperlapse effect works, but I think it's better applied after. I don't think it's best applied in the cameras. When shooting your hyperlapse, it's actually really simple. All you need to achieve this effect is really one of the invisible selfie sticks. Now, there are kind of two ways you can shoot. If you are shooting a hyperlapse where you know it's just going to be facing forward, where the camera motion is not going to be moving backwards and forwards and around, then you can pretty much hold the camera straight in front of your face and just walk forward. Make sure you're not twisting the camera around, make sure one lens is facing one direction and you keep it facing that direction the whole time. This is the kind of hyperlapse effect that you'll get with this camera setup. If you want a more dynamic hyperlapse effect, which I do recommend because I think it looks really awesome, then you need to attach your camera to the selfie stick, extend it by at least a meter away from your body and raise it higher up in the so that the camera is significantly higher above your head. All you really need to do is walk around. Pretty much anywhere works really, but somewhere that has some different kinds of landmarks or something interesting. I mean, a central city plaza would work. I've shot in the middle of Hong Kong, London, New York, that kind of stuff. That's going to work really, really well. All you want to really do is walk around for a long time and do long, straight paths. So walk in a straight line for at least a couple of minutes, then take a turn, walk for another couple of minutes, take another turn, walk for a couple of minutes, take another turn. Do this as much as you can for as long as you can. This also applies for the kind of shots you see here, where you lock onto a specific object or subject. As long as the lens can see that object, then you're going to be able to achieve that effect anyway. You don't necessarily need to point the camera at the building or whatever you're tracking. Also have your camera and selfie stick attached to a vehicle, a bike, a motorbike, and that will be a really good way to shoot hyperlapses as well. Now guys, I'm only really able to give you a fairly quick overview of all of these ways to create hyperlapses because otherwise this video would be 50 minutes long and YouTube does not like that. If you want some step-by-step instructions of how to get hyperlapses exactly like the ones I showed you before, and indeed how to get all of the different kinds of special shots you see being made with this camera, then please check out my Ultimate Insta360 video course. It's got over 70 lessons teaching you literally everything you need to know about how to use these cameras. From setting up, shooting, editing, it's step by step, really clearly laid out. I've been running it for years, hundreds of happy customers, so check that out. I have a link in the description with a discount code for my YouTube viewers. So yeah, but let's get back to this tutorial. Now onto editing, which is where it's not complicated, but this is where most of the work is done. But before I do that, let me show you some of the automatic features that are in the Insta360 app, some of the automatic editing modes that allow you to create these kinds of videos really very quickly. right now on the Insta360 app, just open it up, go to the Edit tab, and then go to Shot Lab. There'll be two options, but at the top there, make sure you're on Shot Lab. Now scroll down and you'll start to see some options. The first one that is kind of a hyperlapse effect is this fly lapse. Now, why is it being loud? This will actually also show you exactly how to shoot, as I've just explained. It's going to be pretty much the same. All you need to do is select use this theme, select the clip that you shot. Again, it should be at least 5 minutes long, and it will create this kind of fast moving effect. You won't really have control much over the direction, but if you're in a really interesting area, it shouldn't matter that much. I've created these kinds of shots using this effect. It's so easy, so quick. You could get it done in literally a few minutes. The best of the automatic effects that you can create very quickly is here, Cinelapse. This basically combines two different shots. So you record for 10 minutes in one location, 10 minutes in another, and then it will combine those two with some very interesting transitions or just very seamless transitions, which I think works really well, as you can see here in the example they give. I would recommend shooting one place at night. In fact, you can actually combine multiple, I think 2, 3 or 4 maybe. But I recommend really changing the location of each time. This will be a really way to create an epic travel video, kind of combining different places you've been. So that's how you can create these effects really easily and automatically. But let's check out how you can edit them in the Insta360 Studio, which is the best place to do so. Okay guys, so here I am in the Insta360 Studio where I'm going to be showing you how to create some hyperlapse effects. So I've pre-selected some videos which I think are going to be good for hyperlapse. They're all very long, at least a few minutes, ideally 5 minutes and above for longer hyperlapses that are going to last at least 10 seconds or so. I'm going to be starting off with this video. It's actually pretty perfect for hyperlapse because it's essentially the camera is still, it's attached on one place, in this case to the back of this motorcycle, and the motion is continuous. There's no stopping and starting, and all you really need to know is where the keyframe button is here, where the time shift, which basically means hyperlapse, as I mentioned before. You need to know where that button is, and you need to know where the direction lock button is, and that's basically all you need to know. So let me just take you through some of the different types of hyperlapses we can make. First off, I'm going to start with just locking onto this person and creating a hyperlapse where they're in the center of the frame. The first thing we're going to do is go to stabilisation, and direction lock is on, and in this case I'm going to leave it on because it's going to make it a lot easier to create the video. It means we only have to create a few keyframes rather than a keyframe every 10 or 15 seconds. Because direction lock means this view will be locked into the place where you start. So if I start my keyframe here, because the camera was facing this direction, it was going in this direction. Direction lock will keep that focused pretty much on that view the whole time, no matter if the camera's turning. As you can see here, the bike is turning, but the camera view is turning with it. If we turned that off, then the camera view would not turn with the bike. As you can see, it's slightly turning, but the camera's not turning with it. So that is the difference there. In some other hyperlapse modes, we're gonna have this turned off, but for now we want it on. Okay, so basically what we're gonna do is add a keyframe, like I said, at the start. We're just gonna kind of go through, maybe add one, just in case the view is slightly off from what we want, but you only really need to go look, I'm adding a keyframe pretty much every few minutes really, so it doesn't have to be very many because the direction lock is doing most of the work for us. So I'm just adding these 4 keyframes. Then what I need to do to add the time shift, the hyperlapse, the speed, go here to where it says time shift, click on that. This red bar will appear, and you just want to drag it for the entirety of the timeline that you want to add the effect to. So let's just go up to there. Anything that's not in the sped up will continue as normal speed, so you may want to drag from the start and the end and get rid of those. Now, on this red bar, you can click on that, and this is where you choose how much faster your hyperlapse is going to be. So I recommend, at least for these kind of videos, probably 16, maybe 32. That's about a 32 speed, it's about a 9-second video. Obviously, the faster you go, the more intense the hyperlapse effect will be. So it depends how long your video is and how intense you want the effect to be. I'm going to go with 16 for this one, just so we can see what it looks like a bit longer. Automatically motion ND is turned on, and it's recommended you keep that on. You can go here to edit that. The spread and the intensity, you might want to reduce it a little bit. And it's ready to go, and this is what this kind of hyperlapse will look like. Now a recommendation for a video like this, if you're attaching to the back of your bike, motorbike, car, and you want this kind of shot, something to make it a little bit more interesting is zoom into the keyframes. Set, go, click on your first keyframe, and just zoom really, really, really far in. Now go to your other keyframes, and then as you go through, there's 4 here, so I'm going to start zooming out. And again, on the third one, zoom out even more. So basically, as the hyperlapse goes through, you will be zooming out as well as adding that speed effect. And I think that works really well. You can see what it looks like here. Okay guys, so on to a different kind of hyperlapse video where instead of locking on to the thing that the camera is attached to, we're going to want to lock on to a building object, or basically a tracking shot, which works really well. It's the shot that I showed you in that example on Instagram. That is the kind of shot we're going to kind of recreate here. This is an example of one I've already made, and you can pretty much guess what I'm going to focus on. It's this Ferris wheel here. Let's create a new version of this video so we can start from scratch, but pretty self-explanatory, I think, what you need to do, but there's just a couple of things you need to consider. So we have a blank slate here. What you're going to want to do is go to the stabilization and make sure direction lock is turned off this time, because we don't want it following the camera's direction. We want to have free reign to target whatever we want and keep the camera where we want it. It gives maximum freedom, that direction lock turned off. So this is about a 5-minute video attached to a selfie stick, and it's over my head, so my body is not going to be in the way at any point, which is good. Choose a starting frame. Now I recommend you don't zoom in, you could zoom out and then zoom in as you get closer, but for the sake of ease of this video, I'm going to choose a fairly neutral starting point, and it's very self-explanatory, guys. You can probably guess what I'm going to do. Choose a spot you want to focus on. I'm literally going to choose right in the center of this Ferris wheel. It makes it quite easy, and just focus on that. Moving the camera, the view, here I'm doing it every 10 seconds or so, making sure you're locked on to the same spot every single time. It really helps to have that cross in the middle, that yellow cross that really helps us guide where our camera is going to be. You could certainly add some zooms if you wanted to do that. So for example, if I wanted to zoom in as I got closer, just use I'm using my cursor here, but you just adjust this, and that will create a more dynamic video, certainly. So guys, I've already created one of these, so let me show you what this looks like when it's done. So those are 2 of the main ways to use this hyperlapse feature, the locking on and the focusing forward. You can get a bit more creative. For example, in this video, I could zoom out here. I would turn direction lock off, but just keep that locked onto that position for the whole video. And because I'm in a really kind of weird, now the view here is zoomed really far out, so I've kind of created a mini tiny planet effect, so I'm like zoomed all the way out. It creates this warped effect, and that interesting view, and mixed with the speed and mixed with all of these lights at night, create a really interesting shot, as you can see here. So yeah, that's it guys, that's the studio tutorial. Hope you found it useful. Okay guys, that's it. That is how you create hyperlapses with your Insta360 X5. Remember, they're called time shift. in Insta360's marketing, but it's the same thing. I think they're really awesome. I think it's probably my favorite way of shooting with these cameras, and it's not even that difficult, let's face it. But yeah, remember guys, if you want more detailed instructions that is much clearer and slower and more step-by-step, then check out that video course I mentioned. Remember, discount in the description for you guys only. Let me know what you thought of this video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up and maybe subscribe. But until next time, I'll see you around. Bye.